Well, I disagree completely with that behaviour.
Is it something that's banned within the club, Simon?
I don't know really what happened. I will need to have a chat with him about that. You know, there's two things. First of all, when you're a football player, you're an example, and as well, you don't do what damages your health. The fact that you can damage your health at home, you can smoke at home and you can drink at home, and nobody sees it. But when you go out socially, you as well damage your reputation as an example.
Have you had a chance to speak to him yet?
No.
What might you say to him?
I will leave that between him and me.
Arsene, is that a finable offence though, or is that just a chat with your chair?
I don't know really what happened, so for me it's very difficult to come out on that. It's a question I face here that I didn't know about, you know.
Could I ask you about Qatar 2022? It looks increasingly likely now that the games are going to be played in the winter. How's English football going to cope with that, do you think? How's Arsenal going to cope with that?
Arsenal will do what English football decides, of course. We will adapt to the behaviour of English football. To me it looks reasonable to play in winter, because the only thing that matters in there is the safety of people who go there and attend, the fans. The players can cope with the heat, they are prepared, and they will be in great conditions, but the fans, I'm not so sure. But I leave that file to the FIFA. They have decided first, they have to cope with it now. How will English football adapt? It's quite simple. The World Cup will have to be, if it's played in winter, you cannot sacrifice the Christmas period here. That means that the World Cup, who initially is planned to be played on the 20th of January onwards, would have to be pushed back, because you need to release your players 4 weeks before the competition starts. If you want to keep the Christmas period alive, that has to then happen from the after the 1st of January, 4 weeks later. That means the World Cup could start end of January earliest. Then how will you adapt? Because you will have to change, I think, 6 fixtures. Where do you put them? Will you shorten the break the summer before and the summer after? I don't know how that can be managed.
You're not one of these people then, like, that agrees with the chairman of the Football League, Greg Clark, that the whole thing should be re-voted upon?
No, because unless there are some irregularities proven, then yes. But if there's nothing irregular has happened, why should you re-vote? Then you can ask every time that people are not happy with what comes out, that to re-vote again. I think you have to respect the vote and adapt to the situation. The only thing that looks to me a bit surprising is they have not considered that at the moment of the vote.
One question about West Brom. Had a very good result against Manchester United last week. They'll be on a high for the game with you.
Yeah, of course. That's why I think the game will be very interesting, and it's a massive game for us, and it's an exciting game as well, because both teams have full confidence and have quality.
Thank you. Arsene, Johan Cruyff used to smoke 20 a day, and he'd go out and turn in magnificent performances, but are things different?
Look,
Are things different now?
No, it is. Yes, of course, things are different, because in England, especially, you don't need to convince me, because I must tell you, I travelled as a football player on coaches after games in France where you didn't see each other. Was so much smoke on the coach, you know. everybody smoked. But times have changed, and the health worry, the example, the role models from the football players' request has changed as well. And I must say as well, English society is very sensitive to smoking, much more than France, much more than southern countries, and so it's a bit more shocking here than it is somewhere else.
Show those to my wife and try and get her to quit. Generally, with Jack, we spoke to him after the match, and he was saying, you know, with all this competition for places, he sees it as something he can thrive on. But I mean, obviously, with Jack, there's maybe a little bit more focus because of his role with England. And yesterday we spoke to Roy Hodgson, and maybe there's some debate about where he fits into the England and the Arsenal side.
He's a very important player here. You know, we build our all my plans for the future at the club have always been built with Jack and around Jack, and we had some setbacks with him a lot, and but he's a very important player in my squad.